Okay, ladies and gentlemen, question number 13. We have the function h of x equals 1 over the square root of 3x plus 2. Now, you've been watching the previous videos. The way that I've taught you to find the domain of a function involving a radical, first thing I told you to do is pay attention to the index. In this case, the index is a 2. Whenever the index is even, we are going to set up an inequality to get the domain. So to get the domain, to find the domain, you're going to take the quantity from underneath the radical, not the radical itself, people, just what's under it. We're only interested in the part with x in it. You're going to take what's under the radical. Now, normally I've taught you to force it to be greater than or equal to 0. But I hope you understand in this problem why I'm only going to say it can be greater than 0, but I'm not going to put the equal. Okay? We had to kind of keep our thinking caps on this problem a little bit more. Normally, like I did in the last two problems, I said force it to be greater than or equal to 0, but look where this radical is. It's in the denominator. Therefore, I can't let it become equal to 0 or I would have a restricted value. So whenever your radical is in the denominator with index 2, you can only force it to be greater than 0, but you don't put the equals. Now you solve this inequality. We start by subtracting 2. 3x is greater than negative 2, so we subtracted 2 from both sides. We now divide by 3. And of course there's no sign changing because we divided by a positive. That is my answer. That is my domain. Any x value greater than negative 2/3 can be used in this function. Now, you were asked to write your domain using interval notation. Go to your number line. Draw x is greater than negative 2/3. So we find negative 2/3. I hope you're going to put a paren on it and not a bracket. And of course the reason you're putting a paren is there is no equals. There was no equals because equaling 0 would have caused a problem. So we shade off in this direction, which is heading toward infinity. And when I write my answer, it's paren, not bracket, paren negative 2/3, comma, infinity. So just as a recap, when you're finding the domain of a function and it has an even, it's a radical, and it has an even index in the denominator, when you set up your inequality to find the domain, you take what's under the radical and you force it to be greater than 0, but you do not allow the equal 0 part because of it being in the denominator. And we're done. That is our answer for domain. All real numbers greater than but not equal to negative 2/3.